So this is Elvis Ankrah. Now, the NPP are excited, I have to say. I believe they are, that Elvis is not here, because Elvis Ankrah is one of those people, you see, he's had tenacity with the process. I don't know what role Fifi Kwete would like to give him, but the NDC will be very worried if Fifi Kwete is thinking of Elvis as continuing in working in the election system. Now, if he were General Secretary of the party, he was going to give the Electoral Commission a big run for their money. Why? Because Elvis Ankrah has understood the election processes. He's showed tenacity with the process for a very, very long time. And he has started this from the beginning. He's one of those who you can call radical. But he's also one of those who you can call a moderate. Very interesting characterization of him. So he comes across like your Haruna Idrisu. You can call Haruna Idrisu an NDC radical. You can also call him a moderate. Mahama Yariga, he can be radical when he wants to be. He can also be a moderate. Not many politicians have that tendency. But you find that tendency a lot in the left-wing people. They are able to do that quite a bit. Now, Elvis is one of those. So there may be divisions of constituencies right now because they are thinking of adding districts. That's a detailed Electoral Commission process. They may be adding some more constituencies to the 275. I don't know. Many people are against it, but some people think that if you do the districts, you have to do it. They think Ghana is 30 million people, so if you have 300 members of parliament, it's okay. I don't know how that discussion is going to end, but it's going to be a process that's going to go through the legal process and the Electoral Commission process. Elvis, sitting in that process as the NDC's General Secretary, would have been a mouthful for Bosman Asare and others to contend with, because he understands the process, and those processes, the election processes, are very, very critical to the outcomes of 2024's elections. So I guess tonight, the NDC is sleeping because Elvis Ankrah is not there. Let's get to Samuel Ofosu Ampofo. Let me say something about him. What is it about Ofosu Ampofo? Ofosu Ampofo is thought also to be a moderate, you know, given his expressive Eastern Regional Minister work, local government work, chairman of Gapoha Port and all that, and given his general student activism, whilst he's considered a core member of the NDC ideological philosophy, he's an NDC ideologue. Ofosu Ampofo is that kind of person because of his church background and all of that, able to reach out to other people, being a Pentecost church elder and all, he's able to reach out to other people. So you actually call him a moderate. Now, there's no moderate in the national executive of the NDC. Johnson Asiedu Nketia is particularly radical. Then you have Yamin, radical. Fifi Kwete, radical. Samir Jemfi, radical. John Mahama, radical. And Jenana Opoku-Agyeman, we don't know. My verdict is radical, but I don't know what your verdict is. That she has metamorphosed now to appeal to the radicals on the back of John Mahama's ticket. That's how I see it, but you can see it differently. So, yes, so they've elected all radicals at this stage. Now, let me tell you Victor Smith's problem. Victor Smith's problem was that they were hoping, I'll take the videos first. They were hoping that they will be able to deconstruct the John Mahama edifice. Victor Smith and his cohorts were hoping to return to the Mills-Rawlings kind of setup of the party. They didn't want the an establishment, the enhancement, the signature of John Dramani Mahama on the entire party. That's what Victor Smith was fighting. That's why he was fighting Asiedu Nketia. Let's go back and listen to Victor Smith when he spoke in the studio about calling out Asiedu Nketia and indicating that Asiedu Nketia should be taken to court on the back of the NDC constitution. Here, Victor Smith.
Asiedu Nketia was the chief executive of the party. He was there. Now say, we need penny for, and the papers need because John apologize for your frivolous petition.
Exactly. Yeah.
You are indicting a former president who was our flag bearer at the time. Why must you even go to the contest? Personally, Nese me pepper here and come and court on this one that Asiedu Nketia cannot contest. He should be disqualified from the.
On what basis?
No, he should be sanctioned in the party.
On what basis?
No.
So what kind of credit?
No kind of credit. The party's a constitution, Article 8. It says, and if you will permit me to read that one, it says, a party member may be subjected or may be made subject to party discipline for any of the following. 1, breach of any of the provisions of this constitution. 2, anti-party conduct. This is anti-party conduct. Or activities likely to embarrass the party or bring the party into hatred, ridicule, or contempt. He has done that. Forget about insubordination and negligence. The other one says unauthorized disclosure of confidential party information.
These are part of your rules and regulations, the government.
Of the Constitution, NDC Constitution. You should be sanctioned. What he has done is a sanctionable offense by no less a person than the chief executive of our party. And a serious matter. The NDC delegates, but this man cannot take part in our elections, in my opinion. He should be sanctioned or no, and if he wasn't contesting, that's somebody went and spoke that. Because was sanctioned as the chief executive.
So Victor Smith was concerned about establishing a certain Mahama hegemony. Let's, however, see whether he has a case. Let's go to the NDC Constitution, the part that he was reading, to see whether he actually has a case against Johnson Asiedu Nketia. And it's going to be very, very interesting because we know that Ofusan Pofu also walked out of the Congress. President Mahama has a lot to do in putting it together. Okay, so here is the NDC Constitution. Article 46 is entitled Party Discipline. And 46.8 is as follows. A party member may be subjected or may be subject to party discipline for any of the following. A, breach of any of the provisions of this constitution. B, anti-party conduct or activities likely to embarrass the party or bring the party into hatred, ridicule, or contempt. C, insubordination, that doesn't apply. D, unauthorized disclosure of confidential party information and any other act or omission likely to impact adversely on the effectiveness of the party's policies, programs, and strategies. Unauthorized disclosure is the point that Victor Smith may be making. What is he talking about? He's talking about Asiedu Nketia, the famous tape that we're going to keep reminding him of now that he's party chairman. We're going to ask him whether he wants to apologize. He's already indicated that he has nothing to apologize for, but we'll have to remind him and we have to tell the court that Asiedu Nketia said that at the end of the day, he didn't know what he was talking about. So this is the story right now, the one that we can share with you for now. Let's go over to Dennis Miracles Aboagye, one of my favorite communicators. What Dennis has said. So Dennis put this on is it his Twitter page, I guess? He said, on a more serious note, considering the emotional roller coaster the National Democratic Congress took this whole country through and the security risks they pose to all of us, not to talk of the vilification of our most important arm of government, the judiciary, the NDC owes the citizens of this country the following. A, apology to the entire country for deceiving us on their claim of winning 2020 elections. B, apology to the honorable judges of the Supreme Court for insults and name-calling, so-called unanimous FC. 3, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to finally call and congratulate Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for legitimately and fairly winning 2020 election. C, and then as for the NDC membership and followers of the NDC, I wish their hearts and emotions well. I don't think Broken Hearts has anything on any NDC member. That's a joke, I think. But that's what Miracles Aboagye put out. I think that what we can say about this is that, it is very, very unfair for the leadership of the NDC when they were describing the Supreme Court as unanimous FC, they were aware that they had internal meetings, and Asiedu Nketia said that we'll play it. Today we don't have time. Thursday we'll come, we'll play it. If they were aware that they didn't have the results. Not that they were aware that they had lost. They were aware that they didn't have the results even to challenge what the Electoral Commission is saying, because according to Asiedu Nketia, Chairman Ofusan Pofu brought somebody who was incompetent, and so after 4 regions, their system broke down. If President Mahama was aware of this, if Rojo Metelnunu was aware of this, if all those who were part of the court process were aware of this. In fact, Asiedu Nketia told us that Mr. Chikata told them that this will not fly in court. You don't have any evidence. What we can do as a strategy is to go in, try and get the Electoral Commission into the box and deal with it. That's a lawyer's advice, so you can't hold him for that. But the party officials, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the chairman, John Dramani Mahama, the presidential candidate, the election officials, Rojo Metelnunu, one of the core election officials, who were all in the EC strong room, contesting the results, and knew that in spite of the taxpayer paying for their polling agents in 275 constituencies and the taxpayer paying for every pink sheet in all the 38,000 polling stations to be delivered to them, they were unable to put a coalition results together. And they knew they couldn't because their system broke down. And yet they came to court to say that they had won and continued to vilify the judges, that they had been cheated by the court. That's a serious matter. That's a very, very serious matter. If high-profile senior officials were aware that they didn't have anything to challenge. They were aware. John Dramani Mahama, the former president. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the general secretary of the party. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, the chairman of the party. Rojo Metel-Nunu, the election official of the party. All of these people were aware that they didn't have any basis. So you don't have any basis. You can go to court and lose. But beyond the court, to vilify the Supreme Court and call them unanimous FC, it's not just unfair, it's crass, it's very immoral as well. Particularly immoral for top officials to do that. And I think that the whole civil society in Ghana needs to come to a certain conclusion on this matter. I heard somebody on Joy FM, a lawyer, talk about how the Attorney General should cite Johnson Asiedu Nketia for perjury before the Supreme Court because he's thought to have lied under oath. Because when he took the oath in the court, he was well aware that there's nothing. So civil society must let us address this matter. So next time we have an election, we have the basis on which somebody can challenge the election with the election petition. So